Weinsberg, where they live. It became very uncomfortable.
As Goering makes it his mission to make the lives of German Jews miserable, he enriches his own with the trappings of wealth and power.
Goering, to me, is a Nazi version of Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous on steroids and twisted. Goering was fond of pageantry, uniforms, how things looked were really important to him. He had an estate that he called Karrenhall, named after his first wife, and he kept a tame lion there.
He'd throw these bizarre, ridiculous parties that were just beyond people's imagination. He would show up in luxuriant red togas, fur capes. He would wear the green costume of a hugely fat Robin Hood. It was a ludicrous kind of spectacle that he made, but on the other hand, all the high and mighty of the land would go to these parties and often be grossed out by the spectacle of debauchery there.
Adding insult to injury, Goering often pays for his life of excess by stealing on a grand scale.
Goering forced Jewish businesses to sell to him at a fraction of what they were worth. And after a while, he realized, hell, we're running the country. I don't even have to pay them anything. Just steal it.
Goering certainly presided over the most massive art theft in the history of the world. He ransacked museums, he ransacked private collections, he stole from the Jews that he sent to the concentration camps.
He was diverting rail lines that were carrying war goods to the Eastern Front of time to bring back stolen paintings and war booty.
It is estimated that he ended up having a collection of 1,800 paintings, several thousand other artworks, and his collection was the second largest collection after Hitler's.
Hermann Goering was Hitler's most trusted lieutenant. He did everything in his power to carry out his Führer's vision of evil. But the atrocities they committed together can exist only in a culture where evil is not outlawed, but embraced. Another member of Hitler's inner circle is the architect of that culture, a master spin doctor who tries to justify Hitler's evil to the world, Joseph Goebbels.
Goebbels definitely was distorted and twisted in some way by his childhood diseases and deformity.
Goebbels had infantile paralysis in his right foot, and he had an operation when he was quite young, but the operation was not successful, and as a result he had a limp for the rest of his life.
He was rejected from serving in World War I by the German military because of his limp, and that was to his great disdain and dishonor. And he had the curse of being only 5'4", so he was really, literally the little man with the little man syndrome, looking to be someone, and he found it in Adolf Hitler in the Third Reich.
Before Goebbels is discovered by Hitler, he is a failure as a novelist. He blames that and virtually all his problems on the Jews. Hitler decides to tap his virulent anti-Semitism and talent for fiction by putting him in charge of Nazi propaganda.
He does film, he does pamphlets, he gets books, he burns books, he has book burnings, he's at them, and he tries to convince the German people that Jews are your enemy because they're part of the culture, but they're not really German.
Every problem that Germany had was, in terms of the propaganda, was the fault of the Jews, and that appeared in newspaper ads, it appeared in newspaper articles, it appeared in billboards.
Goebbels was in charge of the entire German film industry, and he really went to town, and he made these hard anti-Semitic films such as Jude Sus, Pig Jew. Oh, there was another one called The Eternal Jew.
All of a sudden, it starts to form in government policy that you don't really object to. It's just the lack of respect for something that is different. That's how it starts.
Goebbels' goal goes farther than inciting hatred of the Jews. He seeks to ignite action that will stamp them out. He gets his chance on November 7th, 1938, when a Jewish refugee assassinates a Nazi diplomat. Goebbels misrepresents the shooting as a Jewish revolt and makes a fiery speech calling for violent retribution.
He gets all the forces into a frenzy to be able to go out one night and essentially have riots, organized disorder by the armed forces and the police, smashing Jewish shops, Jewish-owned businesses, torching them, doing synagogues, killing Jews. It's a frenzy of violence.
I believe 30,000 Jews were arrested and sent to concentration camps. Many of those were killed in the concentration camps.
Everybody goes crazy, and even Hitler's mad with him because the entire world condemns him.
Hitler's objections aside, Goebbels' goal is achieved.
So part of the impetus of the Night of Shattered Glass was to really step up the emigration of Jews from Germany, and it was very effective.
Hitler relies on Joseph Goebbels to whip up public support for his evil vision. But it is up to another member of his inner circle to actually carry them out. A former chicken farmer who many believe may be more evil than Hitler himself. Heinrich Himmler.
Remember 2007? Smartphones? OMG. 10 years later, nothing's really changed. It's time to snap out of it. Hello, Moto. Snap on a JBL speaker. A projector. A camera that actually zooms. It's a phone you can change again and again and again. Hello, Moto. Get excited, world. Moto is here.